Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the third leadership conference put together by the Bay Area team. Welcome to everybody, and thank you for being here. It's our pleasure to have this conference for you. My name is Surbi Kaul, and I'm from IIT Kanpur. But today's conference is not about an individual IIT. It's about all the IITs coming together to mingle, to learn from each other, to learn how to make creative disruption in the industry. So as you know, the number of IITs has increased tremendously. We have 24 here showing on the board. I'm sure we have representation from most of them. But we'll show you what is the breakdown of the attendees today. We have about 15,000 plus IIT alumni in the Bay Area. And this is one of its kind conference that is for IITians, by IITians, and everything you see around today will be IITians. So give yourself a round of applause. So creative disruption, that's the theme of the day, and you will hear a lot about interesting topics like blockchain, AI, robotics, healthcare, and the disruptions that these emerging technologies are having on the economy. Change comes from disruptive players, and today you will hear from many of those. Oops, wrong side. So I wanted to just give you a highlight of what we are bringing here today before we get started. Like I said, this is the third conference, and year over year we have seen a lot of growth. We have 25% increase in attendance this year, which is awesome, and a 75% increase in Startup Mela. So yeah, that's tremendous. So for those of you who don't know, every year we showcase the upcoming startups in the Bay Area that have been started by IITians, and outside in the exhibition hall, you will see many of these participants. Please go spend some time understanding what products they're bringing to the market. Great opportunity to explore what you could be doing next, learning from them, investing into them, whatever you choose to do today. But this is a great opportunity for everybody to come together and help each other explore, learn. We heard a lot of good feedback that we continue to bring to the conference, which is time to network and mingle. I think this is a great opportunity for IITians to come together and just meet each other, whether it's your hallmates or college reps or whoever you know from old times, and also make new connections with other IITs that you may not have had the opportunity of. Unwind at the end of the day, we get very positive feedback, so we'll do that today as well. And of course, food. Food, we get feedback on all the time, so thank you very much, and we hear your feedback. We try to do the best, so hopefully you'll enjoy the food today. One quick request I'll make, please, when you take food, no wastage. This is something we do a lot in Google as well. We try to remind everybody, be mindful, because last time we ran into some issues, so we want to make sure everybody gets the best today. Lastly, I did want to call out that all our volunteers are wearing blue T-shirts with the logo, and they also have the badge with the host. So anytime you have any questions, please reach out to them, and they should be able to help you and guide you. A quick look at the agenda. You must have this pamphlet already. So I just wanted to go over a few things so everybody knows where to go, and we can streamline the day today. Today we'll start with the keynote of Umang Gupta. And then post that, we will have the lightning talks. And again, for those of you who don't know, these are TED-style talks in which within a 10-minute period, the speaker is going to present a lot of knowledge and pass on a lot of information to you. So these are very well liked and very well attended. So we'll have 3 lightning talks followed by a quick break of 15 minutes in which you can go have some masala chai, which was really asked for, so we have it this year for you. And then after the break, we are going to the conference halls A and B, which is where we will have the panel discussions. So please be on time for the panel discussions. Try and grab your tea snack quickly and then get to those events. After those panel discussions, please come back to this room because we do not have a break there. We want to start quickly with the second keynote, which is a conversation between Ravi Mhatre and Greg Schott. So make sure you come for that. And post that second keynote, we will break for lunch. I'm not going to walk through the rest of it. You can read it yourself, but that is kind of giving you the layout on where all you need to be. Okay. Just wanted to give you call out, a shout out for all the startups that are here. We have 30 plus startups, so a big round of applause to all the IITians who are taking all these initiatives and taking the brave step into the world of the unknown space. Also wanted to call out our sponsors for the day. So as you know, it takes a lot to put up this kind of conference, and without the support of our sponsors, we could not really make it happen. So thank you to all the names up here. And what I was talking about earlier, here is the breakdown of all the IITs that you can see. And as you're looking, KGP having the most attendance, we are going And I think I know why that is happening, and I'm going to introduce our co-chair for the day, Meenakshi Kaul Basu, and she's IIT KGP alumni, and I think you all are here to show your support to Meenakshi, so awesome job. So let me give a quick intro to Meenakshi, and then she will come up on stage and introduce Mr. Umang Gupta, who is the first keynote for the day. So IIT, like I said, Meenakshi is IIT Kharagpur graduate, and she has a bachelor's degree from IIT KGP and a master's from Indian Institute of Science. She has built and led engineering organizations in Sun, Oracle, and Ericsson. She's extremely passionate about the IIT alumni family, and she has given countless hours to make this conference a success today. So please make sure when she comes up on stage, you show your appreciation. She has been leading the KGP chapter as well. She's the president of IIT KGP Alumni Association of the Bay Area. And she has been involved in this conference for many, many years now. One fun fact about Meenakshi, and this is something I wanted her to do today as well, is that in IIT Kharagpur, she used to ride her Bullet motorcycle, right? So I'm like, I want to build a ramp and have her enter the stage on her Bullet. Why not? Let's relive those moments. So without further ado, let me invite Meenakshi, not on a Bullet today, but please give it up for Meenakshi.
Thank you, Surbhi, for the interesting introduction. Good morning, everybody. Distinguished guests, speakers, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the IIT Bay Area Leadership Conference 2018. I'm so pleased to see so many colleagues, friends, families from all the IITs here today, all under one roof. Your very strong support and active participation has made this IIT Bay Area Leadership Conference a record-breaking event. And as Surbhi already pointed out, we have exceeded last year's numbers of startups showcasing their products. We have also exceeded the attendees' registration counts, including that of Trump's inauguration numbers. IIT has a global reputation and it has a very well-recognized brand name, thanks to the effort of several IIT stalwarts who have paved the way for us. And as alumni, we all have a responsibility to our alma mater and for the generation of IITians and others who are here to follow us. The IIT Bay Area Conference provides a very, very unique opportunity for all of us to meet colleagues from not just in the areas that we work in, but also to reunite workmates, wingmates, and buddies from different departments. You can connect with contemporaries who have now become founders, CTOs, CFOs, scientists, professors, politicians, and also an ambassador. The IIT Organizing Committee members have actually worked very hard this year, and Surbhi already pointed that out, to prepare an outstanding conference for all of you. We have to pull together forums to discuss creative disruptions in technology while celebrating our unique kinship. So I would actually like to ask you guys to enjoy this particular day, enjoy your participation at the IIT Bay Area Leadership Conference 2018, and We hope that you will return next year with even more of your colleagues for the IIT Bay Area 2019. So thank you, have a wonderful day, and enjoy the conference. It is now my honor and privilege to introduce our first keynote speaker, Umang Gupta. Umang Gupta is a very well-known technology visionary and a very well-recognized name in the world. He is an entrepreneur, company founder, and has been a CEO of multiple public corporations. Umang, he's from IIT Kanpur, and he began his career in 1973 with IBM. He joined Oracle Corporation in '81 and was the employee number 17. He left Oracle to start Gupta Corporation, which he took public in 1983. Umang has had many leadership responsibilities in corporations and nonprofits, and he has numerous awards to his credit, including the Asian Pacific Foundation Award for Civic Leadership and Philanthropy. He's very active with the IIT movement, and he's one of the stalwarts I'm referring to. And he and his wife are very active in nonprofits at the moment. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Umang Gupta.
Appreciate it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I appreciate that so many of you are here on a Saturday morning at 9 a.m. It's always a tough thing to get there that early, and I appreciate that you're here. Thank you very much to the IIT organizers of this event for inviting me as your keynote. The entire area of creative disruption is one that's pretty close to me. I feel personally very connected to it. I've been fortunate enough, if you can think of it that way, over my 40-year or so career of having gone through various disruptive cycles in our industry, and going all the way back to mainframes. And I know some of you might be rolling your eyes and thinking about how far back that goes, but really mainframes and then PCs and early software industry and enterprise software industry and growth of the internet, the growth of mobile. Each one of those places, I was fortunate enough to either be part of a company or help observe or build companies in that particular area. So I've learned a lot. I've learned a few lessons out of it, which I'd like to share with you. And here's how I'm going to organize my talk. I'm going to take just a few minutes to sort of set the stage by giving you a sort of serial sense of some of the companies I've been involved with from a professional viewpoint. Won't take a lot of time, but at least you'll get a sense of what those companies were. And then I'm going to spend the bulk of my time talking about the lessons I learned from that. 3 lessons, and I'll take you through each one of them. And I also want to spend plenty of time, at least 15 minutes, hopefully, to just do Q&A and answer any questions that you have. I hope I'm useful to you, especially all of you who are either entrepreneurs today or hope to be entrepreneurs in the not-too-distant future. Well, first, with just a short recitation of career. As was mentioned, I started my career at IBM. This was the world of mainframes. And at that time, IBM was a dominant player in the 1970s, literally a $30 billion revenue company in a $40 billion industry. The tech industry today is multiple trillions of dollars. But at that time, IBM literally dominated the world with 75% of the world's market for any kind of computational equipment. And of course, IBM's focus at that stage was largely with essentially, selling mainframes. And I was part of that company. I left IBM in 1980, 81, actually 80 for a short while for another company. And then in 81, I got lucky and I ran into this fellow called Larry Ellison, who was starting a little company called Relational Software that he'd already been running for 3 years. He started in 77, and he asked me to write his business plan. And I don't want to pretend like I created the business model for Oracle. I did not, but I did help to give it some legs and help write that first business plan. I stayed with Oracle for 3 years. 1984, I left to start my company with my name on it. It's called Gupta Technologies. It was an early player in client server. That company went public in 1993, not 1983, but 1993. And then I left Gupta, and I'll take a few minutes later on to talk about what happened and how that company taught me a lot of valuable lessons. But then I left Gupta for a couple of years, looked around what was going on in the world of the internet in the mid-90s, and I got involved with this little company called Keynote Systems, which I then took over as its largest shareholder, became CEO. I was not the founder of the company, but essentially was sort of like a founding CEO, you can think of it, or at least professional CEO, and then took it public, got lucky again in '99 during the days of the internet bubble. I ran that company for about 13 years. Just about 5 years ago, I decided that I'd kind of had enough of what I wanted to do with the world of enterprise software. So I sold Keynote Systems to a private equity company called Thoma Bravo. And today, 5 years later, I'm happily, quote, retired. And I use the word quote because, like a lot of people, I've always been passionate here. I've been passionate about technology, and I'm still passionate about it. So even though I'm doing a lot of things that have nothing to do with professional work, I spend a fair amount of time just focusing in a new area of technology, and that is educational technology for young children. So I'm involved with little companies, I help mentor young CEOs, but at the same time, I'm also incubating and building a startup of my own, which is focused on helping young children, 5 to 8 year old, for example, learn how to read and read loud using speech recognition technology. And I'll show you a little video of that towards the end. So that's a brief review of my career. And as you can see, I've gone through those various cycles of mainframes to mini computers, to PCs, to software, to enterprise software, and then client server software, and then internet software, and then of course mobile. So what did I learn? What did I learn out of all of this? Well, if there's one single lesson that I learned, which is probably the most important lesson I think you can go with out of this, and that is technology, at least when it comes to creative disruption, technology is a ticket to the game, but not the game itself. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, as an ex-IITian, and hopefully many of you can relate to this, many of us, didn't grow up in a world where entrepreneurship and business and all those things were part of our ethos. I came from a very political family, left of center household, and frankly, as far as I was concerned, the word disruption was a bad word. Disruption generally was associated with politics and all the things that went with politics. As far as I was concerned, I wanted to be constructing. I wanted to be creating, and being part of IIT was a way for me to help be this creative person, somebody who would create, part of what the new India was going to be right after independence. So when I came to America, it was the first time I ran straight on into this notion of creative disruption, and that was at IBM. In 1970, as I mentioned how big IBM was relative to the industry, IBM had just decimated its major competitors. And it had decimated its major competitors, many of them you've never heard of, some you may have, Honeywell, RCA, Unisys, in those days it was called Univac and Burroughs, NCR. These are all old name companies, but they were major players in the world in computing of that time. But IBM had decimated all of them. Why? Not necessarily because of technology. They had good computers, good software, good hardware, good systems, but at the end of the day, it was a business model. A business model developed around direct sales software, a professional sales force that could talk to the CEOs of the world and offer them the benefits of computing that could help them save money, do better inventory turns, or whatever it was that that we were able to offer to CEOs. And that professional sales force is what the distinguishing factor for the success of IBM was compared to all of these other players. So the lesson of technology as the ticket to the game is followed with, in addition to technology, the key necessary condition to make the whole thing sufficient is a unique and successful and well-executed business model. And IBM had the business model to take this technology, adequate technology, good but not great technology, but put it out to the marketplace faster, cheaper, better, more efficiently than anybody else. And of course, they won out. Well, fast forward 20 years, by the mid-1990s, an entire new set of players had emerged. We all know and have heard of the Wintel monopoly. Well, you know, Windows didn't exist in 1981 when the first PC was announced. Microsoft was selling a little product called MS-DOS, and it was barely a $1 million company around the same time that I joined Oracle, which was also about $1 million in sales. Oracle was selling early relational databases for mini computers sold by companies you've never heard of that don't exist anymore, but some of them they do, like HP and others. And Sun and others. Of course, they bought Sun later. And then you had Intel selling chips that could provide microprocessors that could then be used by hundreds of players all across the world to build an entire ecosystem of PCs and larger microcomputer-based mini-computer systems to compete against IBM. So why did that Intel or Wintel monopoly succeed? Not because of the technology. Lots of other people were offering similar technology in the 1980s, but because of the business model. They somehow managed to build a partnership, not only with IBM, because it was the dominant player of the day, in order to sell their systems, PC systems, but also IBM's competitors, companies like Dell, companies like HP, companies that aren't in the PC business anymore, but that were located in Taiwan and Japan and lots of parts of the world, companies in Europe that don't sell PCs anymore. And there were 100 players offering PCs and PC-based systems using the Wintel monopoly or Wintel combination of software. And while all that was going on, and of course, by the mid-1990s, IBM was not a monopoly, but it was the Wintel monopoly that existed. And during this period, enterprise software came along. Oracle, for example, managed, when we built the early business model for Oracle, the whole same idea. We could not compete against IBM's direct sales force. It was not possible. But we did have the ability to build partnerships with a dozen other players who could compete against IBM Salesforce. And so we put our software on their systems, which in turn allowed us to open doors and build an effective company. Fast forward 20 years from the mid-90s to here we are in 2018, and of course the Wintel monopoly doesn't exist either. In fact, it has now been replaced by a different set of monopolies in the world of consumer computing. Companies like Amazon, Google, Facebook, Netflix, companies you never heard of in 1995. And yet these companies have succeeded dramatically. Is it because of technology? Not necessarily. I mean, Google was not the first company to offer a search engine. How many of you have heard of Alta Vista? A little company called Alta Vista offered it. Facebook did not offer the first portal into the world of the internet, social networking, yes. But even social networking, they were competing against a company called MySpace. And the portal to the world, the first portal to the world of the internet was Yahoo. And yet none of those companies made it. And these companies, Google, Facebook, did dramatically well. Why? Because of their business model. The business model was based on advertising. Now, other people had advertising too, but Microsoft didn't know how to do advertising. Intel didn't know how to do advertising. Certainly IBM and Oracle didn't know how to do advertising. And the advertising business model allowed these companies to give away their product for free to consumers, but monetize it through corporations. So in effect, you and I could just take the benefits of consumer computing pretty much for free, but the monetization came from the people who were offering to put ads in it. And even in advertising, Google succeeded against Yahoo because it offered performance-based advertising based on a search engine that you only pay based on how many people clicked, rather than Yahoo, which was impressions-based advertising. So you can sort of see the nuances of how business models can dramatically affect the fortunes of a company. Let's take Apple. You know, Apple invented the PC, and nobody ever thought that the PC was going to ever take over the world of the enterprise. And yet, Apple failed, but Microsoft succeeded in that war. Why? Because Microsoft and Intel essentially went after the enterprise corporate world with a business model that involved partners and resellers and OEMs. Whereas Apple tried to build everything all of itself, life together, tried to sell not to corporations but to individuals, and didn't succeed. But that same vision of Steve Jobs, the notion of consumer computing, finally the time for it came 20 years later, 30 years later. And Steve Jobs, after he essentially moved out of Apple, went away to the wilderness for a few years, came back and applied that vision of consumer computing to an entire new era. And that was the era of consumer entertainment, consumer phones, and he built the iPod, but it was not the first, quote, MP3 player. But he was able to offer an iPod with iTunes and be able to offer the entire combination of hardware, software, and even stores to which you could go in and buy an iPod. By the way, same thing with iPhones. iPhones is not the first smartphone. BlackBerry was the first smartphone. But Steve Jobs, was able to do this because he essentially recognized that when you sell to consumers, combining the hardware, software, everything all in one is actually a good thing. Whereas 30 years ago, companies like Intel and Microsoft and Oracle had disaggregated the notion of the combination of hardware and software. Now, the combination is what works because it makes for simplicity for consumers. There's a talk later on that says that hardware is going to eat up the world. No. But it is hardware plus software plus services in a single aggregated business model that is eating up the world. And that's really what's going on in the new world of consumer computing. By the way, 20 years, 10 years from now, will these people still be around? Will Amazon still be around? Amazon probably will be around. But will Google be at the top of the roost? Will Facebook be at the top of the roost? I can't tell you. I don't know. They'll still be around as companies. Microsoft's still around as a company. IBM is around as a company. Oracle is around as a company. But whether they will be at the top of the roost is questionable. Because something will happen. And so this brings me to the next lesson that I learned. First lesson I just said was technology is a ticket to the game, but not the game itself. Well, there's a corollary lesson. If you're a disruptor today, be prepared to be a disruptee tomorrow. Every one of these companies was disrupted. And every one of you who are sitting there thinking about what this means for your own business, you know, at the end of the day, obviously you have to think about your business model. But you also have to recognize, even if you build the right company, the right technology, the right business model, and are able to build up a certain amount of market share and get to the top of the heap in your particular market, you are bound to have people attacking you. And when they do, your mindset has to constantly be thinking about how do I fend off these attackers and how do I continue to build my business better than all of these folks who are trying to disrupt me. Well, I can speak about this in a very personal way, and I'll take a minute to give you that personal story of mine, of Gupta Technologies. You know, when I left Oracle to start Gupta, in my head, and I was a classic technologist, engineer, in my head, all I knew was I was going to build this amazing SQL database technology to run in small PCs because Oracle was not able to make it work in the PCs of that era. And then I was going to build user interfaces that were going to be as beautiful as the user interfaces of the Macintosh in those days. Windows didn't exist, by the way. And I was going to combine the user interfaces of this lovely Mac or PC-like products with the SQL, robustness that came with an SQL database and sell it all on either individual PCs or network PCs. Well, that, what I just described, the vision, for me it came around 1986. The world client server did not exist. But a few years later, you know what? The client server revolution suddenly occurred. And before I knew it, I found myself at the head of this revolution. Not something I anticipated, I wasn't that smart. But on the other hand, I just knew passionately what I wanted to build was going to be different than what everybody else did. And that's what motivated me. But by the time the company went public in 1993, I was on the top of the world. The company had gone public. I was one of the first guys from India with IITs in India who taken the company public. I was doing very well. But when 1994 rolled along, about a year after we taken the company public, we found ourselves in a business model problem. Not a technology problem, but a business model problem. That business model problem was that while we were offering our technology to corporations through telesales, through inexpensive business model channels, which worked for our software, Oracle came along and started giving away its SQL database on PCs and PC networks for free. Now, it wasn't the best in the world. It was still big and bulky, but you know what? It was free. It affected us. And then worse than that, Microsoft came along and started giving away Visual Basic for free. Many of you remember Visual Basic from the old days? Well, before Java, before all that. Well, we built some of the world's first technology for SQL and SQL development with a product called SQL Windows. And worse than all this, a year later, the internet came along. And when the internet came, it completely negated the idea of client server, because you had a thick server with a very thin client. Many of you who are software guys will recognize that as long as you don't have anything running on the client side, there's no need for client server. It's really browser-based computing. So the combination of all these technological changes, but with big companies giving away software, made it impossible for a company like mine to actually be a viable independent player. It was one of the most heartbreaking moments of my life when I reached that point mentally. Because up until then, 94, 95, say, no worries, we'll build the technology, we'll beat everybody, etc. But when I reached that mental state where I said to myself, the revolution is over, and I'm not at the head of it anymore. It was one of the most heartbreaking moments of my life. And that's when that first lesson came to me. That lesson, technology is a ticket to the game, but not the game itself. And I resolved that whatever I did next in my life, I would make sure that I would apply the lesson to whatever I did next in my life. Well, I sort of licked my wounds for a couple of years, made a few investments, I'd done okay financially, but my ego was hurt, and basically the next couple of years I sort of looked around the world of the internet, retooled myself as an individual, so I got to know this new technology. And then I got involved in this little company called Keynote Systems, where I was an early investor and then a large shareholder. And then I built it up and we took it public, and I got lucky. In 1999, the internet bubble occurred, and we were one of those first players with a SaaS business model, software as a service. Why? Because the technology we had lent itself to SaaS. Keynote Systems, in case some of you, I'm sure most of you would not have heard of it, but Keynote Systems was one of the first players to monitor the health of the internet. And we did it with relatively straightforward technology. I mean, all we did was download a page to see how long it took and what the components, how long they took. And we did this from 50 different cities across the world. And then we also we did a transaction, how long it takes to buy a book on Amazon, compare that to how long it takes a book to buy on Barnes & Noble, and we could sell this data to both Amazon and to Barnes & Noble, because we can say, look, you need to compete against your competitor, and our data can help you do a better job of improving your operations. Well, we took off, and it was a software as a service business model, and we suddenly had, kind of like a $40, $50 million company losing $20 million. But you know what? We were fortunate to have gone public. This is my second lesson, disruptor becoming disruptees. I knew that this was not going to last, that the good times were not going to last. One day we were going to be a disruptee. So we went out and raised a lot of money. And by that time, I learned a little bit more about business. I wasn't just a technologist. And I went out and did a secondary offering. We raised $600 million. I cannot believe it, but it was a $40 million company in revenue raising $600 million. Those numbers don't seem big today when people deal with billions today. But in those days, those were huge numbers, huge numbers. And so when that company raised this much money, Keynote was one in the fortunate position of essentially being able to offer this technology for the next 15 years, 12 years, without having to worry too much about money. But we retrofitted ourselves. We kept our business model the same, direct sales, but with telesales and direct sales. But we essentially went out and bought a lot of other companies. And by buying other companies, we were able to recover our business and take it over the next 12, 15 years to being a viable, solid business from 40 million in sales to 125 in sales, from minus 20 million in profits to 20, 25 million profits. This is not a Google. This is not a Facebook. We all know that. But most of us don't get a chance to build huge companies like Google or Facebook. But within the context of the market size we were in, which was a relatively small niche market size, we were the big player. We were the biggest player. And we had only one other competitor who was slightly smaller than us. So the lessons that I learned in the Gupta days are what I applied to Keynote. There's one other lesson I learned through all of that. And that lesson, frankly, isn't just about disruption, it's about being an entrepreneur. And that lesson is that your company is not your destiny. Now, in my case, you can always tell I already did multiple companies, so I never thought, in the beginning, I did used to think my company was my destiny. I came from India. If you think about it, in those days, people had their name on a company like Tatas or Birlas. You know what? I realized very early on the half-life of these high-tech companies is not going to be more than 4 or 5 years or 10 years. But I still mentally thought that Gupta Technologies was my destiny. But by the time I got to Keynote, having learned the lessons I did, I applied them and made sure that Keynote was not my destiny. Eventually, I was going to sell this company. I was going to go off and do something else in my life. And that's what I'm doing now. I love technology. I love technology all my life. And it is a wonderful, wonderful thing that has been a guiding sense for who I am as a person today. And what I now do is apply this technology not to the area that I knew from the past, i.e. the world of enterprise software. I kind of know it. But in an area I don't know, and an area which is enjoyable, but also has social impact. And as the world of teaching young children how to read. I've been touched personally with things that have occurred in our family relative to young children and reading disabilities and others. And this particular game that I'm involved with is one that you might find interesting because it helps young children, 5 to 8 years old, learn how to read aloud. And it does it using speech recognition. I'm going to ask the video to be played, please. It's a 3-minute video.
What's your name and age in there, buddy?
I'm with K. I'm with A. I.
Yeah.
Age 7, right?
No, you're still 6.
6. No to this?
Yeah, I think so.
4.
No, you're a girl.
No, be nice. I'm videoing this and I'm going to send this to Umang Gupta.
Let's choose a story.
Dad is mad. Tap any word to hear it. Tap any word to
You say
hear
Dad
it.
is mad.
Tap it. Okay, no, wait up.
Press and hold, then read aloud.
In the corner.
Oh.
See?
5. 3. 2. 1.
Now lift it up.
Dad is mad.
You have to hit it, okay? Dad is mad.
Dad is mad.
Now lift it up.
Dad is mad.
Let Kai do it, guys. Don't help.
He doesn't get
Dad is mad at Sam.
Dad is mad at Sam.
Dad sat on.
Sam.
He sat on it.
Sam. Sam.
No, you tap it.
Sam. Dad sat on Sam. Sam is sad.
Sam is sad. Sam is sad.
Sam is sad.
Is Dad sad?
Is Dad sad?
Is Dad mad?
Is Dad mad?
Is Sam sad?
Is Sam sad?
Is Sam mad?
Is Sam mad?
I am.
I am.
Kai, pop all the balloons now. Pop all. Kai, pop.
Oh, I missed one.
Almost.
You have a nice reading voice.
I want to do it
Good
again.
practice.
Awesome.
I want to do it again.
How do you like the game?
Let's choose a
No,
story.
Kai, I have to rate it.
What does that mean?
Kai, do you like it a lot?
Okay, well, it is easy to tell. It's not really yet fully. I recognize that. It's on the App Store. People can download it, play with it. But we are essentially helping to improve the accuracy. As you can tell, there are certain false positives, false negatives. That's a classic problem in all speech recognition systems. And bringing down false positives and false negatives down to the lowest number is a crucial thing, especially when you do this with young children and their parents sitting next to them, or their siblings sitting next to them. I'll finish my talk with one lesson above all. I mean, it's not a lesson, but it's a conclusion of it. I mean, I've said technology is a ticket to the game, but not the game itself, a phase of disruption. I said if you're a disruptor today, be prepared to be a disruptee. And I've said, make sure that your company alone is not just your destiny, that your destiny is more about what's it about? It's about what you create. I started with this word, create. Ultimately, we are all creators. Disruption is not the end result. It may be the end result for some people, but at the end of the day, it is not the goal. The goal is creation. Disruption is just a means to an end. Thank you very much.
We're going to take a few minutes to have some questions for Umang. If there's a microphone right there in the middle, if you want to just walk up to it and ask the questions. We'll keep it short, just a couple of questions, because we want to catch up on the 15 minutes. Go ahead.
Hi, Umang. Thanks. Really appreciate your presentation. My name is Sanjay Pandey, and I run this startup in the tech space. I just wanted to get some thoughts and ideas from you in terms of how do you see the evolution of education as an industry, and how do you see like the whole concept of stage on the stage being disrupted, and education not being just sort of now.
Yeah. Well, at the big picture level, you think that education should have much more spending, bigger industry, and bigger impact in terms of technology. And yet that's not the case. You know, we spend about 10-12% of our gross national product in technology, in fact, more like 15% possibly. But the education world probably doesn't spend more than 1 or 2%. So why is that? Because ultimately, the notion of teaching, and by the way, this is true for just undergraduate and graduate, and all teaching completely. Why is that? Because at the end of the day, technology can help, but ultimately, there is no substitute for inspired teachers. And teaching is such a personal thing with individuals. Every child is different. Some of us who went to IIT all know that, you know, we're smart guys, we can learn stuff on our own because we're motivated. But we also knew guys, people who are not that smart, or not that motivated, and 90% of teaching is about motivating them. Part of the reason this game is a game and not just a lesson is because I was trying to motivate people, kids, to want to read aloud, because most kids don't want to read aloud. So those things don't always get done with technology. I'm not saying there's not a place for technology. If that's the case, I wouldn't be involved. But I'm in this business, or in this technology, in this industry with my eyes wide open. It is unlikely, in my lifetime at least, that somehow education is going to catch up with the rest of the world in the use of technology. There are just too many factors stopping it, apart from the fact that the technology itself has to be a lot more forgiving and a lot better. You know, artificial intelligence is great, but there's just too many false positives and false negatives. So you have to improve the technology. The business model is a tough one. In most education is a regulated good. It's a public good. You get it for free in many countries, or you get it as part of your taxes or whatever. And so because it is a regulated good, it's a government business. And when you sell to governments, whether they're small local governments or big governments, there's a bureaucracy involved. So the sales process is very expensive. And then, of course, lastly, it's very different depending on what language you're in. It's cultural education. A lot of it is cultural. And so building software that is different for different cultures, different segments, different everybody else, it's just a hard problem. So I think there's a great potential for education. Don't get me wrong. And if you have the interest in that area, absolutely, by all means, go for it. But it's not the place where you're going to get the highest return on investment. I guarantee you. There'll be other places. But you will get, for me, I can tell you, the highest return on your mental investment, or your psychic return, if you want to think of it this way. I definitely think that.
One last question from the show.
Hi, Umang. I have a very different question. First of all, great presentation. Tell us some interesting experience and lessons you had when you worked with Larry Ellison at Oracle. He is one of the most unique bosses in anybody can have anywhere in the life with due respect. I'd love to know some of your experience.
Well, you know, people change. And when we met, Levy and I, it was a long time ago. It was, the first time I met him was probably 1980, I think. I was working for another company called Magnuson. And we got along famously. We got along very well. And then when I first joined him, first as a consultant, and then as an employee, right, as first businessman, I loved working for him, to be very honest. Yeah, he's a difficult boss. But you know what? I've had difficult bosses before, but he's smart. And as long as you're a smart boss, really, really understand the issues, you only feel you can learn from it. And I felt I could learn from Larry. I learned a lot from Larry. And I learned to be an entrepreneur. I didn't grow up, I grew up in a household where business was a bad word. So actually to become an entrepreneur required me to see somebody else doing this. But with technology, and the combination of technology and business and knowing how to do all of that, I could sell, but boy, could Larry sell, and he could do that. And so I would watch him with customers, I would watch him with employees, watch him just across, and it was a wonderful learning experience. I'm not saying it was easy. My wife will tell you, oh, he wasn't all that great, Mom, But yeah, he's a tough boss, and I had, a young daughter, and I had to kind of weigh everything. But in the overall scheme of things, it was an amazing, wonderful, formative experience.
Thank you very much, Umang. I'd like to invite Mr. Seshan Ramohan to come up on stage and give you a small token of appreciation from the team.